Thank you very much for making time to be a part of this very important conversation. My name is Alan Herbert. I am from Nairobi, Kenya, and I am the leader of an organization called Black Albinism. And we work to achieve social inclusion for persons with albinism and extensively for persons with disabilities. I am wearing a white long-sleeved shirt. I am accessorizing it with a blue coat, and I'm also wearing a blue hat. Sorry, and I am in a media cafe, so probably you might hear a little bit of background noise. I request you bear with that. So I am going to be taking us through the call to action. I would like to mention that this call to action is a collective of many people who are keen and very passionate about this issue of fair funding. And we have collectively put it together this call to action. Also, allow me to acknowledge you for participating and welcome back from the break. So disability justice needs a fairer funding. The time for the change is supposed to happen now. So organizations of persons with disabilities and disability justice activists need more and better funding. And we are saying with the recent announcement of cuts in funding, we've seen what happened with the United States government and the reduction in funding from the UK government. More than ever, persons with disabilities, persons, OPDs basically, and disability justice activists need to make sure that they receive funding and allocate it where there is more need for this funding. And this is what basically OPD leaders and other disability justice activists like myself and those who are participating in the webinar right now, this is what we are asking for. Join us in calling for increased financial support for OPDs and activists to work towards disability justice in a time of cuts and put local needs at the forefront and make sure that we make sure that funding is accessed at the heart of the work that we are doing. Make sure that the funding is flexible and it is long term for at least 3 years so that OPDs and activists can set their own priorities and sustain and adapt their work in changing contexts, including those affected by the challenges of climate breakdown, conflict, and political insecurity. And this, I would like to take it back to a conversation or video that you all watched by Sked from Malawi, where she said that long-term funding and accessible funding gives the OPD leaders and disability justice activists to be able to respond to things that might come up in the work that they're doing. And when we were having the conversation with her, she spoke about the situation of the floods that happened in Malawi. They did not, from the organization that she's leading, she did not have access to unrestricted funding. So by the time she was intervening from the people who are affected from the climate change, she could not be able to do a proper impact. So long-term funding is very important. Learning from successful initiatives and the funders and the grantees involved, including participatory funding models that increase the role and control of OPDs and activists in decisions about who gets funded and how. And I like what Yuma from Zanzibar, as she called it, the beautiful island of Zanzibar, what she was saying, it is very important to have the voices of those who are accessing this funding and the voices of those who are working for people who are affected on the grassroots. We believe that it is very important. And more accessible funding opportunities that involved simple processes and are available in multiple languages and have deadlines that allow time for sharing through offline networks. Now, this is very important. And at this very juncture, I would like to invite you to follow Ad on the social media platforms, because there are other videos that are going to be coming up, and this is aligned to one of the people or one of the OPD leaders that I spoke to from Uganda, and she lamented, for lack of a better word, of how the proposal writing processes and the things that are asked for by funders are very tedious. That proposal writing process is very tedious, and sometimes it deters OPD leaders and persons with disabilities or disability justice activists to go through with funding opportunities. So if we make, or we are able to make these funding processes a little bit easier, and also not just assume that persons with disability or disability justice activists are going to be able to access this information online. There is an opportunity that I came across off of it, but unfortunately it was only posted on Blue Sky. And in the region that I'm coming from, we haven't really adopted Blue Sky. We are still on these other platforms. So making sure that the opportunities are posted across all platforms and on local platforms as well, it is also very important. And lastly, better tracking to ensure that funding reaches OPDs and activists and support their work. And this is so because I would piggyback to what Geda was saying, that in the process of or what everybody has said, that there needs to be a level of trust or a level of amount of time that an OPD has worked. So if I have only started my work 1, 2, 3 years into it, I would need to partner with an organization that has been in the space for a long period of time. So sometimes this funding or very minimal funding will get to me, an organization who is really doing actual work on the ground. So making sure that the funding goes directly to the people who are doing the work on the ground is very important. And this is one of the things that we are asking for. And if you want to learn more, and if you want to know more about these calls and what OPD leaders and activists who are doing the actual work on the ground are calling, kindly I would like to invite you to go for more information, to go to add to Act Now and support disability justice activists, so that the people who really need the work, the people who really need to see the change on the ground, are able to see the impact of the resources that are available right now. And also the resources right now, they are becoming very minimal and they are shrinking by the day. So making sure that persons with disabilities, disability justice activists, and OPD leaders who are doing the actual work on the grassroots receive the funding would mean that we are getting the value of all the resources that are available at this moment.